Okay. So let me know once we are ready to go.
Yes, and we can start. Thank you.
Okay, so it is what is the time now? It is 50. So we have probably 5 minutes more. 11:30 until 11:35. Is that okay?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So welcome all to SESS 2025. I think this is the third time I'm presenting in this. I think I presented in 2022 and 2023. I script 2024, and great to be back with Vaishnav in
Yeah,
2025.
look, in 2024, we don't have, so
Okay.
you have not missed
So,
it.
okay, good. Good to know that. Thank you. Thank you for correcting it. Okay, so correcting me. Um, so let me try to move my slides. Okay, so all one day virtual event, and you are going to get exciting prizes, chance to win, or grab a chance. I mean, a chance to win exciting prizes, right? And then today's session, we are going to cover EPM and labs, mainly labs, what is labs and what labs automatic account management. And I'm going to concentrate on zero trust principles with some of the real world examples. Right. So speakers, Anoop, myself Anoop, and I'm a Microsoft MVP. I think this is 11th year running. And we run a community called HTMD community, and we organize yearly in-person events of HTMD community in Bangalore, and we kind of organize monthly user group events also in related to Intune and device management technologies. And over to you, Vaishnav. Please introduce yourself.
Sure, sure. Hey everyone, myself Vaishnav. I'm working as an SME in end user computing and modern workplace management. And my main concentrated areas are Microsoft Intune, endpoint security, and really excited to be part of ICS 2025 and really excited to deliver a session over here. Over to you, Anup.
Okay, thank you, Vaishnav. And this is the agenda for today. So we are going to touch base on zero trust the principles, and then we are going to look into endpoint privilege management and Copilot, how Copilot can help that, and we are going to see what is Windows Labs. If you are not familiar with the Windows Labs, Vaishnav is going to give you an exciting journey of that, and then prerequisites requirement of Windows Labs, Intune support, what are the policies you need to configure. We are going to cover labs end to end in this session. So stay tuned with lot of exciting demos. That is the agenda, quick agenda for today. And let's get started now. So this is today's world. As you can see, different variety of devices, different data centers, different application, everything is cloud based. So it is very dynamic. So you need to change your security strategy accordingly. So that is where the zero trust principle is going to come. There are three pillars in zero trust principles: verify explicitly, use least privilege access, and assume breach. So verify explicitly, what does that mean? So there's a standard username and password, and that is going to be constant, and it will change every 90 days or 30 days depending on your risk assessment or something like that. But you whenever you access an application or any service, now as per the zero trust principle, we need to verify always verify. Whenever you connect to a service, you need to verify it, from where you are connecting, and what is the your risk pattern for your device which you are using, etc., etc. So we always verify, right? Not one time verification, and you can access it anytime or every for continuously hours continuously. It is in the background, the verification is always on, right? So that is one of the main principles of zero trust principle. And The next one is use least privilege access. What does that mean? Well, it is the main essence of this session, right? Using APM and using lab, how we can provide least privilege for end users. So what do you mean by end users? The users are using the corporate devices, mobile, either it can be mobile, Windows, etc. But over here we are going to concentrate on Windows devices today. And other main thing technology used in least privilege access management is the intra conditional access. Okay, and what is assume breach? Assume breach is nothing but we always assume there is a breach coming and we are always prepared for it, and it is not new. Probably these words are new, but if you are working in IT for 20 years or 15 years, you know what is BCP and DR. There are in big organization there are something like BCP and DR test every now and then, every 6 months. So this is kind of aligned with that, with the cloud and cloud technologies. Assume breach and prepare for the breach, and once you get, unfortunately get a breach, what are the post actions of that breach, etc., with the power of cloud, right? So that is assume breach. Okay, now let's see zero trust policy enforcement, continuous risk assessment and automation. What is it? How that can be implemented for your organization? Most of you might know what is Microsoft intra conditional access. It is so powerful, right? That is the main, one of the main pillars, technological pillars of zero trust in from a endpoint management perspective, right? So how Intune is going to help with zero trust? So basically, Intune can assess a compliancy of a device. Okay, whether the device password is as per the standard of your organization, or the device is encrypted or not, right? And it can assess the device risk and provide that these kind of information to conditional access policies as an input. Then conditional access policy can act on it, block the access, or ask users to take some action to give some, I mean, give back the access, etc., right? So that is very important. Without conditional access policies, Intune cannot do anything with this compliance report. Okay, so that is very important to understand. And then the second point over here is modern device management is always nowadays dynamic, complex risk assessment. I mean, from a risk assessment and management perspective, right? And the resiliency is built in from the ground up for Intune, and that is there from the day zero of Intune, right? So now let's get into endpoint privilege management. I thought it is better to give a demo of endpoint privilege management and how Copilot is going to help us in this through this particular demo. So I'm going to give you a quick description of endpoint privilege management. What is it? Endpoint privilege management is least privilege. It comes under least privilege under the zero trust principles. So you have to give some access privileges to end users in some scenarios where they want to install some applications, especially developers or some kind of users, right? Some user personas, for some user personas. So EPM is going to help us to elevate that kind of privilege whenever required, right? Whenever required. When in this example you are going to see install printer.msi, user is trying to install a printer msi and trying to get a elevated permission from Intune administrator, and you can see request is sent. Now if you go back to Intune portal endpoint privilege management and click on that install printer msi request, you can see, okay, the request unknown publisher, the publisher is unknown, and hash value of MSI is there. Now with the help of Copilot we are assessing the hash value of that MSI, and it says, ooh, it is a malicious code. There's a malicious code in that MSI, and we are not going to allow that to get installed on the end users, because that is going to give us a lot of trouble. So that is basically endpoint privilege management with the power of cloud and with the power of Intune. So we are not restricting users from their day-to-day job, but we are assessing the security of the device and security of that particular every action of that particular user. Okay, so what is labs? Windows labs is local administrator password solution. So basically Windows labs is a Windows technology, and we are using Intune to manage that technology from a cloud perspective, or with a dynamicity or of the cloud, right? So we can change the administrator local administrator password in a fly using these Intune policies, and it is very easy to do that rather than deploying a script using SSEM or Intune. Previously we used to do that, right? Whenever we want to change the password or rename the local administrator account of a device, we used to do it using the script. Now with labs and in the power of Intune, it is very much easy and very much dynamic. We can dynamically change the password, and whenever an admin uses a password, you can change it if you want and for the next time, right? So that is what coming with labs. Now I think it's time to hand over the mic to Vaishnav, your own. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anim. Let me quickly share my screen. Hope you can able to see my screen. I'm in the PPT. I'm in the
Yep.
prerequisite and requirement. Yeah.
Yep, sure.
All right. So Anup already explained about labs, and I'll start with what is the prerequisite and the requirement of Windows Labs. So if you're opting for lab, it's very easy because it will come up with the Intune very basic subscription, that is Microsoft Intune Plan 1, which is a basic subscription and which also have all the capability of Windows Labs. Of if you are using this particular um, labs option, you can also need one additional license, that is Microsoft Entra ID free, which is a free version of Microsoft Entra ID. And the good thing is that is also included in the Microsoft Intune Plan 1 license. So if you are checking or if you are working this technology in your trial or test environment, if you do have the Microsoft Intune Plan 1 subscription, it's more than enough. And in the corporate scenario, you all should have the Intune license and you should have the Entra license. So you don't really want to worry about the subscription part. And the other thing is, device can have any Windows edition that support in Intune or Intune for Labs. So that is something like whether it is um, the Pro version or enterprise version. So the supported operating system I just mentioned over here. So if you are supported with this supported operating system, you should have this capability. So the operating system start with Windows 11 24H2 and Windows 10 22H2, 21H2 and 20H2 with the KB number 5025221, and the Windows 11 22H2 with the KB number 5025239 and later, and Windows 11 21H2 the KB number 5025224 and later. And in the next slide, I just mentioned about few catches. So there is one point, keep in mind, with device that are workplace joined are not supported for labs. And there is one more important point is labs on Windows device can be configured to use one or the other directory type or not the both. So we will check this option in detail once we are doing the demo, and also consider the backup directory must be supported by a device join type. So if you set a directory type in an on-prem Active Directory and your device is not Active Directory joined, it will still accept the policy from Intune, but the labs cannot successfully use the configuration. So that is one important point. And Intune labs for Windows, Intune policy for Windows labs is supported for GCC high environments. And regarding the RBAC role, the remote task action to rotate local administrator password not included by any of the built-in role of Intune administrator or Microsoft Entra ID administrator. So if you really want to give this role, rotate local admin password, so you have to create a custom role for that. And there is two explicit role for labs. And in addition, we do have global administrator and other roles, but these are the explicit role for Windows labs. So the role is endpoint security manager, which will have the capability to create the policy, deploy it, modify and rotate the password, everything. And the read-only operator having the limited capability to view the password, view the policy and stuff like that. I will, yes, in this slide, I just mentioned about the demo. I do have few more slides, but it's good to explain these configuration settings in details once we are doing in demo. So let me quickly log into my Intune portal. So I just logged into my Intune admin center and I have to navigate to endpoint security. And under endpoint security, you can see account protection. Under account protection, you can see the create policy. So I'll click on create policy. The platform is of course Windows and the profile type is local administrator password solution, Windows Labs. And I will click on create. So very basic option is you have to give a meaningful name. So I will give a name something like ICSS. Demo lab automatic account management policy, and the description is optional. You have to click on next. So these are the configuration settings, and these are the important settings we have to configure in labs. And you can see over here, we need to configure at least one settings to proceed further. Otherwise, it will not give an option to proceed further. So I'll start with the first option, backup directory. We will check these options in detail with the help of the PPT. So what is backup directory? Use the settings to configure which directory the local administrator account password is backed up to. So we do have option like disable, back up the password into your Entra ID or Azure ID, and the other option is back up the password to your on-prem Active Directory. So you can see over here, these are the zeros and ones values mentioned here. Initially, these things are in the CSP value. So when we are configuring it on an endpoint device, I will show you how the endpoint experience and what is the registry value, what is the event logs it look like. So that is the very first option. Since I'm doing this demo in my Windows 365 Cloud PC, of course, it is Azure AD joined. I will go with backup password to Azure AD only. And the second option is password age days. So this policy is to configure the maximum password age of a managed local administrator account, and the default value. If you are opting that settings, if I click on the configured option, you can see it's already configured for 30 days. But you can change that option accordingly. If you are doing it on your on-prem Active Directory, the minimum value will start with 1 and the maximum days is 365. And for the Azure AD and Entra ID concept, the minimum value is 7 and the maximum value is 365 days. So I will go with 7 days just for in this example. And the other option is administrator account name. So administrator account name is something like it used the settings to configure the name of a managed local administrator account. And if it is not specified, it will default to the built-in administrator account to be located in a well-known SID. SID is nothing but security identifier. If you rename the administrator name also, it will capture based on the security identifier. And if specified, the specified account password will be managed. And there is a note over there: if a custom managed local administrator account name is specified in this settings, that settings must be created via other means. And specifying the name of the settings will not cause the account to be created. So I already mentioned I need to give a demo about the automatic account management. Since I already have those options after a couple of settings, I don't want to configure this particular option. And the next option is password complexity. So we'll check what is password complexity is. Use these settings to configure the password complexity of a managed local administrator account. The allowable settings are, we do have almost 7 to 8 settings, but most commonly used and most secure options are something like this. One is large letter, the second option is large letter plus small letter, and the third option is large letter plus small letter and numbers, and the fourth and default option is large letter, small letter, numbers and special characters. And if you are not specifying this particular option, it will default to 4. So I will set that option to large letter, small letter, numbers and special character, and you can see all these other options, almost 7 to 8 options also mentioned over here. So I'll stick with the default option, and the next option is password length. The password length is use these settings to configure the length of the password of the managed local administrator account. And if you are not specifying this particular setting, the default value will take as 14 character, and the settings has a minimum value of 8 characters and the maximum value of 64 characters. So I will just configure that password length settings, and you can see over here 14 character is by default came up. I just don't want to change that one. If you're trying to set a password of 6 character, it won't allow. You can see over here, it will clearly giving a pop-up like provide an integer between 8 to 64. So I'll go with the default option 14 characters. And the other option is post authentication action. So what is post authentication action? Use these settings to specify action taken upon the expiration of the configuration grace period. And if not specified, the settings will default to 3, which means reset the password and log off the managed account. But in the portal, we can see we have few more other options. So that is something like reset the password upon the expiration of the grace period and the managed account will be reset. And this is the option I just mentioned: reset the password, log on the managed account, and upon the expiration period, the managed account password will be reset, and all the interactive session using the managed account will be terminated. That is the default option. That option only we are going to configure. But we will check the other options as well. The other option is reset the password and reboot, which is not convenient for a production environment, because if it will reset and reboot the device immediately, the final option is reset the password and log off the account and terminate the remaining process. All the remaining process will terminate, and upon the expiration of grace period, it is actually the managed account will reset, and any interactive session using the managed account are logged off, and the remaining process will be terminated. So that those are the options available, but I will stick with the default option. And you can see the other option is post authentication reset delay. So the post authentication reset delay is something like it uses the settings to specify the amount of time. And keep in mind, in lab settings, this is the only settings we are mentioning in hours. The rest of the settings are in days. And this settings is mainly to wait after an authentication before executing a post authentication action. And if not specified, this settings will default to 24 hours, and it will have a minimum value of 0 hours. In 0 hours, it will disable all the post authentication and the maximum value of 24 hours. So I'll just turn it on, that post authentication delay in Intune portal. So you can see the default values came up 24 hours. I just wanted to change the setting to 8 hours. That's okay for me. And remaining almost 4 or 5 settings are related to automatic account management. So I'll explain those settings as well in detail. So automatic account management configuration settings are the latest add-on Microsoft or Intune introduced few months back. And the first settings is automatic account management enable. So what is automatic account management enable? Use the settings to specify whether the automatic account management is enabled. If the settings is enabled, the target account will be automatically managed, and if the settings is disabled, the target account will not be automatically managed, and if not specified, it will default to false. So that is the reason I am not configured this particular option. I want to configure the automatic account management. So if I'm not configuring, you can't see any other option over here. But if I'm turning that option to target account will be automatically managed, you can see some other option also came up. The other option is automatic account management enable account, which means whatever we mentioned, the automatic account management enable, that account is enabled or not. So it will basically check that option. So use the settings to whether the automatically managed account is enabled or disabled. If the settings is enabled, this account or the target account will be enabled, and if the settings is disabled, the target account will be disabled, and if it is not specified, it will default to false. So that is the other options are available. And the other option is automatic account management randomized name. So what is automatic account management randomized name? Use the settings to configure whether the name of the automatically managed account use a random numeric suffix. So each time password rotate, these settings will, if you enable the settings, the name of the target account will also use a random suffix, and ultimately you will get a brand new username or account name and password each time when you are rotating the password. And it's a greatest addition in the endpoint security. And if the settings is disabled, the name of the target account will not use the random suffix, and if not specified, the settings will default to false. So I just want the settings to use the name of the target account will use a random numeric suffix, and the other option is automatic account management target. So we'll check what is automatic account management target is, and use these settings to configure which account is automatically managed. So there is a few options available. Either you can manage the 0, which means the ESP value, the built-in administrator account you can manage. Otherwise, the other option is you can create a new account, and I mean the labs will create a new account by Windows Labs and will be managed. And if not specified, it will also create a new account. So that is the default setting. So I'll move back to my Intune portal. And I will, this is the default option, manage a new custom administrator account. So that option also we have set. And the other option is automatic account management name or prefix. So use the settings to configure which account is automatically managed. The automatic account management prefix. Use these settings to configure the name of the prefix of the managed local administrator account. So as I already mentioned, the suffix will be rotating for each rotation interval, but we can mention a constant prefix. So if specified, this value will use the name of that particular prefix what we configuring. And if we are not specifying these particular settings, it will default to W Labs admin, which means Windows Labs admin. It will use this particular prefix settings. I want to use a particular settings over here, so I will turn on that automatic account management name or prefix, and I will give the prefix name is ICSS Labs admin. And as you can see, these are the important settings we have configured in automatic account management with labs. And once you have done with all these settings, you can click on next, and in this particular pane you can see the default scope tag has been set. And if you are doing it in your production environment, based on your scenarios, you can set a custom scope tag as well. And in the next option, you can assign this policy to certain devices. So I will click on search for group name, and I have a Windows 365 cloud PC having Windows 11 24H2 enabled. I mean Windows 11 24H2 operating system, having the operating system. So I just check that option, and the target type is include, and you do also have some filter option available. If you want to specify these settings only for certain filtered devices, if you already have a filter, you can set that filter. Since I'm using it my test environment, I don't have any filter right now, and I will click on next now. So this is the review and create option screen, and we need to review all the settings whatever we have configured as of now. So once you have um, successfully verified all the settings and scope tag and assignment everything, you can click on save and deploy this policy to the target device. So these are the main configuration. For the interest of time, I already created this policy yesterday, and you can see the policy has been created here, and it has been successfully targeted on the same device. I'll also show you the configuration settings are same. I just explained the same settings only configured, and the target account also same. It's Windows 365 Cloud PC 24H2. Now we will check the cloud PC, how these settings will impact. So for that, I will move my cloud PC here, and you can see this is my cloud PC. And first and foremost thing we need to check is whether it's created a local administrator account or not. For that, I will open run, and I'll type lusrmgr.msc, which will open local users and groups, and go to users. You can see over here there is an ICSS labs admin has been created successfully, and you can see over here a randomized numeric suffix having 6-digit code, right? So whenever you are rotating the password, every time this particular numeric digit will rotate, and also password also will rotate. And we'll check these settings once again by double click on it, and we can check it is already member of our administrator. And if you are trying to change any of these settings and apply, you can see over here there is a straightforward error. The account is controlled by a policy, external policy you cannot modify it. So you can't modify the settings because these settings is configured from Intune. And the other option is we can check the configuration via using our event log. I'll just open my event viewer and go to application and services log. Under application and services log, you can see the Microsoft folder over here. Under Microsoft folder, there is a Windows folder. Under that, you will find a labs folder, which will also have an operational log, event log. If I click on that particular operational log, you can see all the logs are available. And if I'm trying to do some changes over here, yeah. Okay, let me reopen that log, event log once again. Not reflecting. I'll go to application and services log. It will take a few seconds to come up. Under application service log, Microsoft, Windows. Under Windows, you can find the labs of. So this is what I was mentioning. You can see some warnings logs already created because labs block an external request that attempt to modify the current automatically managed accounts. If I try to do some changes, it will capture those logs also, and it will capture the which client name I was trying to do, and the account name and particular state, and all those processes will be captured. And there is one more log which will tell you about the configuration settings what we configured. The event ID is 10022, and you open that particular settings, I mean particular event log, you can see whatever we have configured in Intune, that everything is reflecting over here. The policy source is CSP and all the settings, and you can see the 5 automatic account management enablement settings also reflecting over here. The other confirmation thing is we need to verify the registry value. So I'll open registry editor in the same device and go to SKLM software, Microsoft. Under Microsoft, we have to navigate to policies. Under policies, you can see the labs folder over here. So same settings. So whatever we have configured, the same settings are reflected here based on the CSP value, and all the settings are worked as expected. So we can conclude it's working as expected in your endpoint device, and we will check what is the Intune admin experiences. To check that, I will go to the Intune portal, and the particular settings I already opened here, and the view report. You can see the view report and the device name also mentioned over here. And if you click on the device name, you can see what and all settings we have configured as of now and the status of those settings. So in case if you are facing any of the settings issue, it will reflect over here. And one additional settings is we need to check this device in detail. For that, go to devices, and that particular Windows 365 cloud PC. This is my cloud PC, and I just opened that cloud PC, and you can see there is a local administrator, local admin password mentioned over here. Click on that, and it will navigate you through show local administrator password, and your local administrator password, account name, security identifier, I mean the security ID, the last password rotation, and the next password rotation. You can see the next password rotation is on 19th, which means as per our settings, we have configured it for 7 days. The next automatic password rotation on 19th of July. And now it's time to check whether this account name and password is working fine or on that particular device or not. For that, I will just copy this account name, the labs local administrator password, account name and password. And I will go back to my cloud PC. And I'll try to elevate a command prompt. Since I already have an administrator of this cloud PC, I will navigate to the location and try to access with a different user and try to use my labs account name and password over there. Just shift right click and run with a different user. Since it is an administrator, I will go with / and the username. And the password option also over here, you can either view the password and copy, but without viewing the password also you can have an option to copy to clipboard. I'll click on copy to clipboard, and I will paste the password over here and click on OK. So you can see it's successfully elevated, and it's showing my account name, and I will verify whether it's successfully elevated or not. So for that, I'll check who am I, and it is clearly written the computer name and as well as the latest lab account name. So you can compare this latest account name with what we have in our local users and computers. That is the same account. And now we can check how we can rotate the password on demand. As we already checked, we can have a configuration for rotating the password. But in case if you want to rotate the password on demand, how we can do that? For that, go to devices and Windows devices. I'll click on my particular cloud PC device and click on this three dot on the right hand top side, and you can see the rotate local admin password over here, right? So if you click on rotate local admin password, it will give you a prompt like rotate the local admin password for this particular device or not. If you want to rotate the local admin password, you can do it on demand. If I click on yes, the rotate local admin password option will change to pending. I'll just okay, just initiate the policy once again. Yeah, it got changed. Yeah, you can see the rotate local admin password is pending, and whenever the device is getting synced, after that it will rotate the password and it will get a status of completed. And after that, you can use the latest phone name and password to elevate your local administrator account or lab's local administrator account. So these are the settings we can concentrate on Intune portal. And I also wanted to show you one additional settings, and this is the basic settings for Windows Lab. So
Vaishnav,
if
sorry,
you really,
we have only 5 minutes. There's a notification in the Teams chat. So yeah.
yeah, I only have, I only take 2 minutes. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
sure. Thank you.
Sure. To check these settings, you need to go to your Entra ID portal, and under Entra ID, you can see um, the Entra ID option over here under devices and device settings. If you scroll a little bit down, you can see there is a particular option, enable Microsoft Entra Local Administrator Password Solution Lab. So whenever we are opting for lab, these options should be enabled, then only you can able to configure labs on your environment. So that is the very basic settings, but I just wanted to cover that option as well. And please keep in mind this automatic account management on endpoint. It's only supported for for the for the OS version 24S2 and later. Yeah, that's all I have, and over to you for any questions and queries, or over to you, Anup, if you want to highlight something.
It's okay from my side. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vaishnav, for
Yeah,
the
thank you,
nice
Anup.
presentation.
Thank you, Vaishnav. Yeah, guys, if you have Q&A, please unmute yourself. We have 3 more minutes. Yeah, Anup, can you check the chat window?
Hey, hi Anup. My name is Murthy. Quick question. I think definitely the section is informative because you explained from starting from basic to till the workflow and the validation. One quick question: is there any way to implement custom RBAC policy that grants only to view the lab's local admin password with the least privileges? It's predominantly for the L2 support. They should not have any other access apart from just viewing the lab's admin password. I mean, local admin password for the devices.
Hey, can I take that question, Anup?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Narasimha. Actually, I already explained that point in our demo as well. We do have a read-only operator built-in role, and on top of that, if you really want to configure uh, a custom RBAC role having limited privilege, I think your requirement is just something like the L2 guy, he need to only view the password, right? That is doable.
Yep.
But in fact, we do have a custom airbag role also available. Just again, you can
Okay.
use
Thank
that
you.
option. Otherwise, you can create your own if you want to add few more other settings as well.
Yeah. You said built-in role, right?
Yeah, there is a built-in role. I'll just
What is the built-in role
copy.
you said?
Yeah, there is a
Okay.
built-in
Yeah. Thank
role
you.
available. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Vaishnav. Thanks, Anup.
You.
Thank you. And before we go, I'm going to give one more announcement, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. So, as I mentioned initially, we are part of HDMD community, how to manage devices community. So, if you are interested in modern device management kind of strategies using Intune, please be in touch with HDMD community. We organize in-person events. On yearly basis, and we have monthly user group events also on Fridays of every month, last Fridays of every month. So so you can search in Meetup for HTMD community. So you will get all the details over there. Thank you very much for providing us this opportunity.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Vaishnav.
Thank you.
Hi, Mudumita. Hi, Sravani.
Hey, hi, Anup. Hello.
Hi. I'm seeing a screen loading, something, a video, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to share my presentation deck.
Yeah, I'm able to
Yeah.
see the screen, the slides.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Just give me a moment. Let me stop the previous recording and start the new one.
sure.